so I'm trying to teach her like game design and design thinking and stuff. And she designed basically this Western themed game where a monkey rides a toilet around space. It's very fun, and it's you have to visit different like Western themed bathroom stops. The monkey does. So obviously she's sick.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'll send it to you guys. It's a pretty dope game. But anyway, so we're like, I've got this, and it's like running this other like 2 other things that are like quite complicated. And I mean, it took like all of it was taking like 20, 30 minutes, and it was comical because my computer was flaming hot. I'm like, I think I'm reaching this point. And so I didn't like that's why I asked the question. But anyway, yeah.
Just a comment, Grant. So first of all, welcome, and it's great to have you in the Claude community. What I think, going back to the start of your point of like building your skill bases and your MD files, right? So what's amazing with AI going forward, for example, with the open clause where you can install it on your Mac, is that I use a shared library via Dropbox. So everything that Cowork or Claude Code or Claude Chat is learning and updating these MD files of the company about me, I'm also putting that into my OpenClaw agents who are also reading and writing from it. So all the infrastructure that you have created with Claude, you can just directly put into kind of the infrastructure can keep working in another platform. And I think that's the magical part about MD files and skill files.
Yeah. I'm setting up that sync tonight, late in the evening hours.
And then just to add on to that, like, so you're new to this ecosystem. One thing I'm curious about you guys' thoughts on is just like Cowork. Like, I don't use Cowork at all. I just use Claude Code for everything. Is there like any advantage at all in me using Cowork versus using Code? That's my first question. Second is just like sort of like a piece of advice for our listeners here is like your first markdown file or your first skill or whatever the fuck you want to call it will probably suck. Like, it may not be perfect. And so what you need to be doing is iterating, right? And so like internally, we have markdown files for every different type of asset. So if I wanted to create like a before and after ad, and I say, hey, use this markdown file to create a before and after ad for me for this brand, and it does, it generates a prompt for me, and I put that prompt into Nano Banana, GPT-2, whatever it is, and I get an output. What I need to do is I need to take that output and I need to put it back into Code, and I need to tell Code, these are all the issues with this ad. You need to go back, or maybe more politely, please go back and update all of the respective markdown files that you used to get to this point so we don't get this mistake again. So the idea is like you're creating an iterative loop, and I will say, I may be on an island in this group here. I will say having a human in the loop doing that is far more beneficial than having a QC agent do this work. Like, I've tried having a QC agent just like iterate and iterate and iterate. It's fine, but it doesn't necessarily get there. The one thing that humans have as an advantage, especially in the marketing space, is taste. Like, and we know on this call, what maybe like a good ad looks like or what a good landing page looks like, right? Like, we can optimize as much as possible, but like there is an innately human intrinsic thing about taste. And I think that's why, having a human in the loop do this thing. But so anyway, that was just a bit of a tangent and an aside. I want to go back to the Cowork versus Code thing, because maybe I'm missing something here, and maybe our listeners are missing something here. Because I think just a Code seems to solve any problem that Cowork could ever do.
Can I go first? I have feelings about this. So I've been experimenting with Chat, Cowork, Claude, and OpenClaw, and it's a strange harmony, and there's a lot of feelings around it. But for me, what I landed on is that Cowork is my project manager that it's easier to connect to all the different connectors. It's easier than to just make sure it has all the files connected. Claude Code for me is too complicated. It looks cool when my wife looks behind my back on what I'm doing. But in terms of just making it do consistent, good quality work, for me, Cowork is better. Especially in terms of making sure all the connectors and everything is working. Because on Claude Code, I have a hard time making sure it remembers that it has the to-do-list connector or the liner connector or whatever. So for me, it is my project manager that I talk about when I'm going to develop different things. And then I get that to give me the prompt I need to do in Claude Code to develop. So that's my take on it.
Got it. That makes sense. Maybe it's gotten better since the last time I used it. but I've just found that using APIs and code is just like so much more efficient than the connectors in Cowork, because I feel like the connectors, and again, it's been a few weeks since I've done it less, but I felt like the connectors just kept breaking down, and I'd have to like go reconnect them. And I was like, this is like not a repeatable system.
There's a very known bug about this connectors dropping down with the OAuth authentication thing going, which I think will be resolved soon. But you're correct, some of them are breaking down. And it is much better to connect directly to the APIs. But I think for the normals, the normies who are just using this every day, I think it's easier to just understand you have Cowork, you put in all the connectors and it will just work for you. And of course, they will prompt you if you need to reconnect or re-authenticate things. But it depends on the nerdiness level, I think, of the whole delivery. But for me, showing Cowork to different clients, which is like small e-commerce businesses in Norway, their mind get blown by just understanding how Cowork works, and applying all the things Grant have been talking about today, and just giving them MD files and creating schedules and stuff like that. You are like the coolest person in the office. You're like a superhero. You're like the peak AI person, just applying these simple tactics, I think.
And I'll throw in on that. Completely agreed. The percentage of people that are going to enjoy Claude Code is disproportionately smaller than the people that are going to jump in and immediately get value from Cowork. So if you're listening to this and you're like, fuck, I don't know what to do here, go for Cowork, have a ball, right? And to your point, Will, is this a video podcast or is this audio?
We have video component as well on our YouTube channel. Yeah.
Fantastic. Do you mind if I screen share something?
No, let's do it.